don't know me. Know how I earn a living.
Cheap creep. Hey, you, what's going on out there? All right, so, you know, been working on the old camper, and she's still there. Boop. Got that for free, right? And I don't know if you've seen my other videos, but we also got something else for free. Check it out. There she is. The SS free. It even says free right there on the bottom. Free. So yeah, I got a new MC number for it. Wasn't too hard because it is a Livingston, and I believe this is a 10-foot. All right, probably about 10 foot. It's got a bunch of bolts through the hull, which I'm guessing this was probably like a dinghy for a bigger boat maybe. I'm not sure why, but I'm gonna patch that up. Somebody tried patching it up already. Didn't do a very good job. We're gonna try to make it a little bit more pretty. The very first thing I wanna do is take and get this up on some stands, pull those bolts out, and take and get the underside smooth. Okay, first thing I needed to get the boat up is I need some sawhorses to hold it. So I got two 2-packs of the Husky galvanized sawhorse sprockets that have a 400-pound weight capacity, which is way more than I need. And then I picked up 4 2x4 by 8 boards, or 96, and I thirded them into 32 inch segments for the legs. Remaining 32 minus the 96, 64, right? In length. Let's make sure that I'm right here. Make sure I got my math down right. Yeah, so it's 64 wide. The boat's only 5 foot wide, or about 60 inches, a little less than that. So this is going to be all that we need. The height, when you cut the legs at 32, gives you a work surface of 34. So that's how you build some sawhorses. The Husky sawhorses I picked up were $12 for a 2-pack, so it's $24 for 2 packs. And then the 2x4 by 6 or 2x4 by 8s were $4.34. So relatively inexpensively, you can build, you know, a nice little working, I don't know what you want to call it, work surface for a boat, small boat. All right, got her up on the stands. It's a good working height for me, so I'm not hunched over. I need to get my angle grinder and cut off these bolts. And I don't know if I'm gonna cut that one off too because it's rusty. I'm gonna swap out the bolts for, I don't even know what those are. That's got to be to attach to another boat, but I'm gonna swap the bolts out, or the front bolt, for a stainless. I think I'm gonna start by cleaning it with super clean. Is probably the best thing to do. There's no major cracks in it except for the whole thing. There is wear for some reason right here, which is kind of weird, so I'm gonna have to fill that in with some fiberglass. Yeah, I'm just gonna get it cleaned really good right now, and I'm gonna cut those off first. All right, using my handy dandy angle grinder from Ryobi. Love this thing. If you don't have a cordless angle grinder, get one. If you're on the cheap like I used to be, just get one from Harbor Freight. Everything's all good. But all right, so what do? We cut those things off, and it turns out it was a round plug, bigger than I thought, which isn't the end of the world, not a big deal. But I did sand around the hole to get down to the fiberglass. There's one there. It looked like the kid that had it before me, and I got it from for free, tried doing his own fiberglass work, and well, he tried. Cut that off. There was one on this side, and here's the one he plugged. This one must have leaked. It feels pretty solid, but you know, it looks really bad, and it's not even glassed in some parts. So I'm gonna have to sand, 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 sand. And I'm gonna have to look for cracks. I only saw a couple by the holes. And this side too is kind of crunchy, kind of roasted right there. Fill that in. The transom is really good and it's steel reinforced. So that's good. But yeah, so we're gonna get to cleaning this thing now. I'm gonna use my favorite cleaning product, Super Clean. I'm gonna rinse it, super clean it, and see what it looks like. All right, I'm cleaning away, and you can see the night and day difference here. Those are areas that I sanded, and I need to sand that and sand in spider cracks and everything. But yeah, look at that. That's crazy, huh? Night and day. Wow, does this thing look bright and white. Not so ugly. Well, not as ugly as before. That's Super Clean. Well, she did a good job getting her clean. This thing was like black and dirty and LGE. But we got a lot of little patches to do. What we're gonna use for the holes, I don't know what size fiberglass this is. I know there's a lot of different types, but this is the heavier stuff. And I'm gonna use something else than everybody else because it's way cheaper. Bondo fiberglass resin. Sandable in 2 hours. It is 100% waterproof. It is made for boats. I wouldn't use this on big boats with big holes, but we just got little holes to patch. And then you need to get the liquid hardener. The fiberglass resin you can get for like 25 bucks, and the hardener is like $7. It's way cheaper than like the total boat stuff. You don't want to get yourself a cup. I'm gonna do 2-ounce sections at a time, and you know, some popsicle sticks or stick of some sort to mix it. So let's go ahead and get our fiberglass cut to size, and then start patching this hole. Okay, so I cut a piece of fabric. You got to be careful because this stuff will start coming off at the ends. It's very loosely woven. Just a little bit bigger than the hole. Okay, so I'm going to be doing small batches. The first thing you want to do is take your hardener, take a thumbtack, and pop a hole in it. Get your popsicle stick ready. Your measuring device. I'm doing 2-ounce batches. Aw, son of a biscuit. It comes with liquid hardener. I bought some for no reason. Oh well. So let that be known to you. It comes with liquid hardener. It's in the cap. I believe if you're careful, you could probably use the trough as your whatever, but I don't want a big mess, so I'm going to use throwaway cups. So 2 ounces at a time. Okay, so per every ounce is 10 drops. So I did 2 ounces, so it's 20 drops. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. You're supposed to just let gravity naturally do it. I was squeezing it a little bit. Whoops. Alright, so I've never used this stuff. I'm not a pro. I am a first timer. Trying to do this on the cheap. There are a lot of other people that do boat hull repairs, and they are professional. If you want a professional job, I recommend you switch to them now. If you want to get it done now job on a small cheap boat they got for free, I'm your guy. Everything that I've did see says you always glass on both sides. I'm probably going to try that. So far so good. I'm liking this stuff. A little piece of fiberglass that came unwoven. I don't think you need to worry too much about the edges fraying because we're going to need to sand this anyway. Just make sure you got a nice liberal amount of your glass. And it starts getting a little translucent a little bit more. It's normally kind of an orange, burnt orange honey color. I'm going to let that sit just like that. Now, if you were doing a more professional job, oh my god, I got a dip. Well, you can just do layer and layer and layer and then get it smooth and then you're good. This thing is not going to be no showboat, okay? This is going to be a get me out on the water on the cheap boat. So if that's what you're looking for, I'm your guy for the repair because I'm trying to do this absolutely positively cheap. Actually, I got this one right here too, but I cut this one as a size, so let's do this one. Make sure you got some good nitrile gloves or latex maybe. I like nitrile. Oh my god, wow, this stuff, look at this. I've only had it out a couple minutes. It's already hard. So, experiment number 1, don't use more than an ounce at a time. This stuff hardens really fast. This is currently a thick jelly that is no longer applicable. This resin's already setting up. So let me get another cup. Paintbrush is getting good hard. I guess the key to this stuff is moving quick. Careful not to get boogers everywhere, because when I got this, it had resin boogers all over it. I can see how it's easy to, as this stuff sets up lightning fast. And you could literally go through a ton of paintbrushes really fast. Alright, let's get our patch on. This stuff is like working with thick crazy glue. And it makes a huge mess if you're not careful. We're gonna move quick like a bunny. See if we can get a bunch done here. Looks like it works better if you kind of do the edges first. Try to get it to stick a little bit and then go in the middle maybe. I like to go heavy in the middle. All right, we got all of our resin down. I resined every little spot that was down to fiberglass. I'm sure your pros out there are cringing, maybe. And then I went real heavy on the resin on the front. There were a lot of spots, you know, a lot of high activity spots. But I sanded down to find bad spots that were like, you know, really bad spider cracks, you know, stuff that looked like a hole. And if it was a hole, you got fiberglass resin. If it wasn't, didn't, you know, there's a spot right down in there that was weak, had a hole in it. So I have an insane amount of sanding to get this to be somewhat level and whatever before I paint, but should look all right. I am not going to do a mirror finish on this boat, guys. Just to let you know, this is just going to be white and float. Okay, that's it. That's the goal. So this is a 10-foot dinghy, guys. This is not a crazy boat. So, well, we're gonna let this dry. Setup time is 2 hours, and then we'll come out and do some sanding. Now for the fun part, I'm gonna do a little sanding. I think this is 80 grit, maybe 60. I don't know. I'm gonna be hand sanding this because it's kind of small. I mean, the main surfaces I'll do with you know, palm sander, but for the patches I'm gonna do by hand. So what you want to do is do it in X's, and you can see already here. See how it's white right here? Those are high spots. See where it's still dark? Those are low spots. You want to try to get that somewhat even to where it's all getting sanded. Again, we're not doing a professional surfacing job here. I'm just getting it so the paint will stick. Because if you don't sand smooth surfaces, paint won't stick very well to it. So you actually have to sand the entire thing. So the patches I'm gonna do by hand, and the rest I'm gonna do with a palm sander. And X patterns. The reason why you do X patterns too is it helps to get better adhesion with the paint, and you won't notice lines through your paint either. Since I'm going to be using a gel coat, I think it's pretty forgiving because gel coats can be up to an 1/8 inch, which is pretty dang thick. Usually they're like a 1/16 inch paint, which is pretty good considering spray paint or regular paint, whatever, is super thin. It's like paper thin. I don't even know what that is in inches. Super thin. So it just gives you an idea. It's probably 10 times thinner than gel coat if I were to put a number to it. Yeah, that sounds about right. All right, so I'm not going to show you me sanding all this. This is going to take hours by hand, but hey, it's fun.